Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Motorsport Manager. It's episode number 11. We're still a couple days away from our next race in Singapore. It looks like it's going to be dry for practice and qualifying, but it will be wet during the race. That's good for me. Definitely a good sign, and the type of track where I can cover some of my deficiencies a little bit better than we did in the last race, but also a track where it's difficult to pass. So we'll see how that goes. Big stuff coming up for the team, though. We are just 6 hours away from a new test track being done, which will allow us to make a better engine. So there you go. We have our new test track available to us finally. So there it is, a test track. Really excited by that because now we can go on to a whole new level when it comes to the engine. Meanwhile, we're still strapped for cash. I mean, 12 million is not a lot. There are new options, none of which are unlocked right now. So in terms of upgrades, we definitely do have some things we could do, but all of them are a little bit risky in terms of cost. The next upgrade is only 4 million to the test track. Well, let's go straight into that because the engine upgrades I need really, really badly. Yes, the cost goes up a little bit, but it's not really changing things. So it looks like we're adding another building and an additional section to the track here. And that's definitely not the costliest upgrade. You could make more than one upgrade at a time, by the way, but we're cash strapped big time, so we do what we can. Now, as we get ready to head to Singapore, we've had our second suspension upgrade made. Our third part is being worked on. You can see it's inching its way up there. We're up to 10th on the rear wing. Is that the only thing that is 10th or above? It is. It is. And we are now back ahead of Alpine again in 11th. Nice. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get ready for the week. Set up our tire allocation. Those mediums, I don't expect them to see much. Let's see what we can do with the new and improved. And actually, something else that we've been working on as well. The new, what is it, the brakes? The last set of brakes that we worked on? Or is it the gearbox? That's what it is, the gearbox. Much improved. Alright, so here's where we're at for this. It's only at 64%. We only just got it going. I think I'm going to hold off, but this is only at 80. It's not like it's good. They're both at 680. The difference is you get a qualifying boost of plus 40 to that one. The next one's going to have the qualifying boost and not very good choices for suspension, which is kind of the main reason why we stayed away from it for so long, why it's the last part we've worked on this season. Just not very good options. So no change there. We just got a little bit basic improvement to the car, which means we're still sitting on 22-23. Now there's a lot of laps to run around here. However, even though it was just there on the screen a moment ago, I was not looking for my refresher on how many laps this race is. I always like to pre-plan strategy, even though last race we changed that up, but here we wouldn't necessarily do that. I want to say it's 50, 58. Which would be 2 sets of super softs. We'd have to get 29. That's a stretch. That is definitely a stretch. But those ultras, that's a terrible life. 13 laps. So I'm expecting that the mediums will never see the light of day here. Give ourselves a similar setup to the other car. Vergne should make the one stop work a little bit easier than Ocon. Ocon is going to have to really stretch for it. Race trim. Nope, leave it on 4. They both lose 15 seconds, really. Okay, big changes necessary to both cars. It's going to take a little while. There's more time gone. Both back out there quickly. Okay, we're getting there. I think I might have gone too far on the handling. So we're going to pull that back a bit. I'll get this back next time. .95, nice. Downforce is good. Handling also went too far. Pull that back a bit, and then we'll see how the speed balance is, whether it's better or worse. %. That'll do. That'll do. Something similar here. 98. I did have that purple before on the speed balance, so I do know what is necessary. Can we get anything here, though? Get anywhere near it? I doubt it. Tiny amount of tire pressure. Give it a shot. Alright, long run for both cars. Zoom out a little bit so we don't get all dizzy staring at the screen. Level 2 bonuses already. But we're already at that 15-minute mark, so we are a bit behind this time. We got it set up pretty quick considering how far off we were initially. 23rd, bring it in. Ocon, I think we're good, so bring it in. Yes, we are. Boy, he can make those ultras last a bit longer than his teammate. %, good. We went the right way with that. Made it work. Still actually not purple, but I'll take 99% over 98. And I think we're early enough that we might get to the level 3 bonus. Seven minutes left in the session, and we just hit level 2. Plenty of time to reach level 3, but both cars in for a quick stop. I did waste a little bit of time there, so hopefully I didn't waste too much. I think they've still got it in the bag. Tire heating looks pretty good. It's fairly neutral. You can see it's slightly below. There you go. Bonus level 3, done. We're very much running at the back end here, but that's okay. Tire bonuses won't make much of a difference depending on how that rain is on Sunday. Alright, so Ocon heads out first. They've got the pit road on the wrong side of the street here. It should be on this side, because there's the first set of chicanes, and hello, I need to get myself ready to go for the lap, don't I? Ugh, all over the place here. Tire temps there. Brake temps actually aren't far, so that's good. Vern picked up a nasty bonus that's going to last 3 weeks, where no matter what he does, his form is going to be 1.0. So he's got some sort of poor form modifier that's going to basically put our hopes in Ocon for the next couple of races. And it just happened a few days ago, so it's still going to last most of the 3 weeks. A lot of traffic here for Vern. Ocon, though, is picking up that traffic as well, so that's not good. close, really close for Vergne. Ocon's slowest, 3.7 slower than Verstappen, who is faster than Hamilton, so that's a rare feat. We're a full second behind Sainz. See, it's a miracle we hang with these guys at all. I mean, we're almost 4 seconds off the pace. Alonso is 0.8 ahead. That's pretty rough. Vergne, fortunately, gets by those two cars without too many problems. Massa, 0.2 faster than Ocon. Vergne looks a bit better on his time. He is. He's ahead of Alonso and Massa. Let's see. The Williams of Russell is 2 spots ahead of us. Kubica has not crossed the line yet. That's one we'll keep an eye out for. It's the last chance to be up the order. It'll be the last one to finish his initial lap. And he squeezes in between. So Vergne ahead of 1 Williams and 2 Alpines. Alright, we're going to wait a little bit of time here. And let's send Ocon back out for attempt number 2. Right as Vergne reaches the pits. Now, there's a full second gap between Vergne and Ocon, and Vergne's on 1.0 form-wise. So, Ocon, come on, dude. You can do better. Your car is only slightly worse than Vergne's. And your driving ability is only slightly worse. You should make up for the difference. Okay, that's fairly good. It's fairly good. And he's got some clean air. Yeah, he's got some clean air to run in. Let's get Vergne going. I'm just gonna go ahead and set him to auto though. Let's watch Ocon's lap. See if he can do better. Wow, 1.4 off the pace already through Sector 1. Come on, what's the deal, Ocon? Why is he so slow? 2.5 faster in Sector 2. Minute 19 left in the session. Ocon stays last. Does not improve, and his form drops to a 1.9. Vergne is locked in on that, so he's not expecting much. Just crossed the start-finish line. He's starting his second attempt. He has dropped to 21st. Alonso moved up. Massa on his in-lap already. Kubica moves up, so Vergne, we need a lap from you here. He's the last one here in the bottom, other than Russell that's still running, and Russell's already 4/10 clear. Slow through Sector 1, not improving his time. The AI did not do a very good warm-up lap for him. Sometimes it does better, sometimes it does worse. Here, it very much did worse. So it looks like we could be looking at 22 and 24. Yes, he's already 2.4 off the pace. Okay, almost a half second slower than his first lap. Vettel fastest in the session. Verstappen very, very close. 1/100th behind. Hamilton 2/10 down. Bottas almost half second down. Then Leclerc half second down to Vettel. Of course, in real life, Leclerc's been a good 2 to 3 tenths faster than Vettel almost all season in qualifying. It's making his fanboys very salty too. Oh, here comes the rain in qualifying. Ooh. That mixed things up. But not really. The usual suspects are at the front of the field. Hamilton quickest in Q2. That is going to mess up the race though, because that's going to end up unlocking the tires for the start of the race. It could be raining at the start of the race for all I know, but if it were dry at the beginning, they're going to end up on fresh tires. Everybody running intermediate second time out, so nobody's going to go faster. So no change in the order. So Vettel goes out quickest on the first lap, 4 seconds slower on the second lap. So big difference between the intermediates and the dries. And track at the end looks like it dried right back out. So interesting, the time gaps there. Hamilton's going to start from P2, Bottas, Verstappen, Leclerc, Gasly, and then the Haas cars, the McLarens, and the Toro Rossos. Okay, so we're starting with a damp track. Not so wet that you feel like you need to be on the intermediates, but it looks like within 2 to 3 laps it will be that wet. So you might as well stay on them. The time gain is not worth it. But we're going to dry out about lap 19, 20-ish. Oh, it's a lot of laps. 67. Okay, well, we'll pick up strategy as we go along and make decisions out on track. So I kind of need a decision now, don't I? Well, if we're going to have, say, it doesn't rain again, which it looks like it could, the conditions, right? It goes sunny and then it goes back to cloudy. So it could end up raining again. So we could, it's tricky. We could be on short stints, but how long is that going to run us? 15 laps? Then we need to go on the super softs because a full extra stop is going to be deadly. So we'll take the super soft bonuses. You could always push, burn the tires more quickly, versus going on the ultras and not being able to run as long as we need to. So we need to go about 18 laps on this first stint. These intermediates should make that no problem. What is their expected life? About 32, 33 laps for Ocon. Longer for Vergne. Of course, his form is low, so he won't do quite as well with that today. And it's all unlocked because of the rain. So everybody's on intermediates, presumably. Yes, it's a sea of green. And the form is low for both drivers as we begin the Singapore Grand Prix. Both cars with a good start. Vergne up to 17th. Ocon up to 19th. He was trying to follow Vergne through, but Vergne didn't give him the space he needed. Now it's 3 wide for Ocon, 4 wide for Ocon and Vergne. And now they pulled back down to 2. We've got some busy traffic here so far in this one as we get this race underway. At the front, the battle at the front is now Vettel in the lead. over Gasly. Gasly had a really, really good start. Hamilton a little slow on the start. Gasly momentarily had the lead, but Vettel reclaimed it. Leclerc has now reclaimed second, and Verstappen has already reclaimed third, and Gasly drops to fourth after a tremendous start. Somebody's got a penalty. It's Stroll. He locked up. He hit the back end of somebody going into one of the corners. And a bunch of other cars locking up as well. So we've got a tight battle here through most of the field right now as it's all bunched up. Ocon in 23rd, Vergne's in 21st is where they've kind of settled down to. Front runners all locking up, midfielders all locking up. You can see all over the place there's lockups everywhere, and there's a big collision. Vergne just got caught up in it, and his suspension is damaged. We're going to have to pit him. We have no choice. Should I put on fresh tires? It's only 3 laps. How much longer? No length at all, so let's just go ahead and give him fresh tires then. Ooh, causing a collision. Vergne picked up on that. Well, luckily he's able to come in immediately at least. Stroll just exiting pit road now. And Vergne's race is already ruined. So Giovinazzi is behind us in 22nd. Stroll with his drive-through in 23rd. Ocon sitting in 21st now. Can't even get around Massa at this point. That's who he's just behind there in the Alpine. Don't like how these two cars look very similar. We might be taking a new paint job into next season. Having a look to the outside. It would be back to the inside for the other part of the chicane, but it doesn't work. He doesn't get up close enough. And suddenly, wow, I was just looking at it. He was just fine, and now he's overheated. Back off a little. It's not 4, but we've got to make these tires last a little while, right? Yeah, let's back off, save some fuel. Both of you. Vergne 20 seconds behind anybody else, so he's got a big gap. And let's speed things up. This is going to be one of these kind of races. Both drivers on low form. Ocon is picked up from a 2 to a 4, so it's improved, but it's still bad. Here comes Stroll fighting his way through in a faster car. Gotta watch out for Stroll around Singapore. You gotta watch out for Perez as well. A couple drivers that just have nasty habits when it comes to this track and getting their elbows out. Sainz pitting. Fixing a problem. He's down to 23rd. Vergne will not make it ahead of him. In fact, he's still a good 8 seconds down from him. He is closing the gap, though, on Gio. He was 20 seconds down. He's now only 17. Track's full wet right now. But everybody's still on the intermediates. Ocon finally recovered enough to get back to neutral racing. It's already lap 9. I don't really need these tires to last terribly long, but if they're outside of the happy zone, they're going to be slow anyway. Ocon locks up. Giovinazzi goes around. And we're down to 22nd and 24th. Plenty of traffic just right there ahead of us, though. So Ocon's got a chance to move forward. Perez causing a collision, drive-through penalty, so both racing points struggling through this race. Just like they did in real life a year ago. Not this year, necessarily, but a year ago. Lance Stroll, another collision and another drive-through. So Stroll's race already ruined is now toast with Vergne. Will Vergne get around him? He does. So Vergne is up to 23rd now. I want you to start attacking, even though you're a bit too far gone. How many laps do you have to go? Not that many. And actually, your whole race is ruined already. Attack. If you crash, you crash. Ocon in 21st. After Stroll's problem, going backwards again. But Sainz has caught up in the quicker McLaren. Vettel with a 10-second lead now over Leclerc. Verstappen, Bottas, Gasly, Hamilton. So Hamilton has not recovered from the poor start that he had. He was slow off the line. Remember, dropped to 5th after just a few turns. Track is soaked. We should be on wets. Perez already on the super softs is going backwards fast. He's losing a ton of time right now. The rain stops and the track will dry out pretty quick. But there's a big difference between pretty quick and it's dry. Yeah, tires overheated. That is okay. We are just going to push until it's time to come in. As you see, we're not really any faster because we're overheated. But we do have spare fuel now, so that'll be good going forward. Vergne has caught up for the most part. He's only 6 seconds behind Ocon now. We're staying dry till at least lap 50. And we're down to damp. We are down to damp. I don't want to double stack, but now we're awfully close to each other here. Ocon's the further ahead, and his tires are a little more worn anyway. So we're looking at 47 laps left in this race. And we've already been lapped, so super softs definitely seem like the way to go because they'll do high 20s. There comes the race leader. Vettel goes through. He's now 17 seconds clear of Leclerc. He is absolutely flying around here. He's having his best race in many, many years. Sure, he's won a few here and there, but he has not been dominant like that. The later part of this decade. Alright, so Ocon comes out in 22nd, and Vergne's going to pit this lap. So we stay ahead of Stroll. We'll see how the gap is. He's got a 3-second gap to Stroll right now. And Stroll should be faster. It's a racing point. Right now it's holding. Gap's holding. Good stop. No mistakes. Out in under 3 seconds. It's not a great stop yet, but we've got a lot of work to do on that pit crew to get there. So we're a full 30 seconds ahead of Perez. We come out 2 seconds behind Stroll. 5 seconds behind our teammate. And right in front of Bottas, just behind Verstappen. So we'll stay here for a little bit, keep an eye on this. How does our pace compare to fastest cars on the grid? Because they're all still on intermediates. And you can see how much slower this is for them. These guys are 3 seconds a lap faster than me, and yet, right now, they can't get around Vergne. Hamilton just got around Bottas. He's recovered to 4th place, but now they're battling behind me, unable to make a move around Vergne. So we are absolutely on the right tire already at this point. Everybody else staying out way too long. Mercedes eventually get by, but how many laps? 2 full laps already? 3 laps? And they've gained 1 second in 3 laps when they're normally 3 seconds a lap faster than I am. And here you go, everybody else finally starting to pit as the track really dries out. So we've gained some ground on everyone. I like that. That's a good thing. That gap to Stroll in the faster racing point. Remember how easily he caught up to us and passed us? It's out to 5 seconds. So we've only gained 2 seconds on him. Look at all those guys heading into the pits and how slow they were as the track was pretty much dry. And somebody just flew by us. What the heck? Massa just took off around Vergne like we were standing still. What the heck is going on there? Jeez. Ocon, meanwhile, is in 18th. Our tires aren't fresh, but that was crazy. How easily they just got by us. We are really slow on this track, I guess. A lot of front runners came out on ultras. Everybody else super softs. Only a few cars on the mediums, and they will be slow. Alonso's one of them. Massa is one of them. They're supposed to be slow. Didn't look like it initially, but once you get past the first, outlap push with the fresh tires, they'll slow up. Grip's going to pick up. It looks like we are staying dry till the end of the race, or at least until the last few laps. So this should be it. This is our big run, and tire temps are holding right where we want them, so we're going to just let it run for a while. Ocon's 18th, Vergne is 22nd. Vettel's lead is now nearly half a minute. Hamilton has finally recovered after his poor start up to where he began the race in P2. Verstappen is P3, Leclerc is P4, and that's tight. It's less than a second. Quick investigation, but somebody was cleared up near the front. Bottas 5, Gasly is 6. It's close from Hamilton to Gasly, just 14 seconds separating them. Vergne makes a mistake, locks up, and loses some ground real quick there, but Perez had a problem, and pit again. I'm wondering if Vergne and Perez just about came together there. Kubica with a problem. He pits, comes out in P19, just behind Ocon. 8 seconds down anyway. Spare fuel's gone. Ease off for a while. Lap 39 and counting quickly. Hamilton's cutting into Vettel's gap and pulling away from the others. So Hamilton has made his way up and might challenge, but with 25 laps to go and 25 seconds to cover, Hamilton's got a long ways to go if he is going to beat Vettel. It's going to take a mistake to help out. He is prone to them, but not necessarily in this game. Vergne loses out to Stroll, 22nd, and we are now at worn tires. We're going to be pitting here soon. We've got 23 laps left to go. Worn tires for Vergne as well. He'll pit soon. And Vergne's in last place now. That 1.0 form just ugh. Slow car and bad form. Not good. Not a good combination. He's got spare fuel again though. Ocon, where are you on the track? 18th. Just past pit road. Okay, 20 laps to go. Can't make it on the Ultras. So he's got to go on the Super Softs. I do not want to pit again. Push this lap. We're going to start pushing here as well. $19 laps. Almost. Not quite. Won't make it. Ocon's stop is good, and Vergne is in. So Ocon comes out in 20th, Vergne comes out dead last. Ocon gets back around Giovinazzi as he enters the pits and moves up to 19th. Vergne is 23 seconds behind. We had a localized yellow, and was it Vergne? Giovinazzi who had a problem right after he came out. Gasly ran wide. Not a good race for us here. Our car that should be fast is anything but, and then had his problem right off the bat, messing up his race. Three seconds clear of Perez, but Perez is going to pit soon, so I'm not worried about him. Kubica is the next one ahead, 5 seconds. He's on mediums, so we might make our way up around him. See how that gap is doing. Back into a good place here in terms of the tires, so we can start to speed it up. That's Perez, who's coming up behind us. Again, I'm not worried about him. Actually, he's on his in-lap right now. We're about to gain a lap back, so start pushing. Ocon's about to get lapped here. 10 laps to go. The gap is actually bigger than it was. 7 seconds to Kubica. Vergne's up to 22nd. Giovinazzi and Stroll have both pit again and gone backwards. Perez stayed in 20th after his pit. Massa in between there. We should be ahead of Massa, but we're not. He might pit, but I doubt it. Kubica might pit, but I doubt it. Alonso looks like he will pit. Ricciardo probably will. Bottas might. Localized yellow. Grosjean having spun. Amazing that we've had 0 crashes in the last couple of races. Gap still 7 seconds to Kubica. So we're not closing him down at all at this point. Vettel still leading the race, but the gap has shrunk. 18 seconds now to Hamilton. Verstappen still holding right where he's been for many, many laps, right about 32 seconds. Leclerc's fallen further back to 49, but he moved up to 4th. Bottas, after the extra pit stop, is down to 6th. Gasly moving up a spot there. There's only 4 seconds between them, so Bottas will probably get back around Gasly. I'm not sure he'll catch Leclerc. Raikkonen pitting. Kubica has pit, so Ocon's up to 18th. And Alonso pit, but Alonso's still ahead by 7 seconds. So that's about it. I think we're in for our finish here. Just a couple laps to go. So let's attack. And push for a little bit here. Verne right behind NASA. He has caught up to him, so he's got a chance to get around here. Yep, tires overheated. It's okay. Race is about to end. Okay, 4 seconds behind Alonso now. I don't think we're going to catch him. We've gained 3 seconds, but here is Verne in heavy traffic, and there's the Alpine at the front of that heavy traffic. Almost out of fuel, though. Here. Oh, he's still at the front of this pack. Vettel takes the race win. Hamilton finishes 13 seconds behind. How did he manage that, though? Because Vettel pit, but didn't lose time. Very confused by that. Couldn't get him. We stayed 22nd. The other cars, the other traffic, blocked us off a little bit too much there. Ocon stays in 18th. He had closed to within 4 seconds of Alonso from 7 behind. And Alonso had fresh tires, but they were mediums. So he pulled back a few seconds right there at the end, but it wasn't enough. But Vettel keeps his win. Hamilton, Verstappen. I think Hamilton had a problem because Vettel pit just before the end, and the gap was 13 seconds. And then after the pit, Hamilton was still 13 seconds behind. So I think we missed it, but I think Hamilton may have spun because Verstappen had closed up about 13 seconds. Yeah, one lap before the end, Vettel stopped. That should have given the race win to Hamilton. So, no idea what happened, but I'm guessing he spun. Not a good race for us, though. Not a good race. Verne with that 1.0 form, that hurt a lot. Bottas had a drive-through. Quite a few drive-throughs there. Didn't affect anything. Those were all previous, and that's the only reason why we weren't really the last 2 cars out there. Hamilton leading the Drivers' Championship over Vettel. Bottas is 3rd. Verstappen, Leclerc, both pretty close. Leclerc just got around Ricciardo in the standings. Gasly just now up to 7th. And 5 races left here in this inaugural season. Right now we're right where we need to be, and it's not looking like Alpine or Williams are in any sort of danger or any sort of threat of scoring any more points. The last couple of races we haven't really beat them out, but we're in the back with them. And the field, we're not seeing all the DNFs that we were seeing, and so that means we could very well stay right in 10th till the end of the season. And while that's not good, it's not necessarily bad either. We still are improving the car, getting ourselves set, ready to go for next year, giving ourselves a better base for next season. So it's going the right direction. The surprising thing, though, is it's Williams with 0 points, even though they're 10th best. And us in Alpine are 11th and 12th, but it's the driver lineup. They think of George Russell as a rookie. They haven't seen what he's done in real life this season in that Williams, how he's gotten so much more out of that car than that car has to give. And likewise, they've given way too much to Fernando Alonso, who is absolutely a talented driver. But if he's in a slow car at the back of the grid, he's going to finish in last in every race. Have you ever seen that guy drive? He drives with emotions. And he gets fed up and frustrated when he's slow. And so he just drives off the rails and messes things up, makes mistakes, doesn't care. He's lazy when the car's not going to help him. When McLaren was midfield, he'd fight and he'd get up there. But if he wasn't up there, he was right at the back. So he's either up there fighting for the points or straight to the back. So him taking a car that's not good enough and battling and getting up there near the top 10? No, not really. Not with that car. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe. And tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Just 5 to go in this season. Bye for now.